Before, I never had like much confidence in myself or like how my future could go. Until I started talking with Hans, who actually gave me a lot of confidence in a way that I could like make it in life, even like with the difficulties I have and the way I look at myself.
I think my conversation skills have gotten a lot better, and like people are like actually like treating me like an actual human and like talking to me. Here, people, they talk to you a lot more, and they'll like be more like empathetic listeners.
I used to do so many things and actually enjoy myself and everything. Or I've cut pieces of my personality and tossed them away because they're not needed, they're not useful, they're not really acceptable or whatever, right?
It could be hard taking off the mask, but you could do it. And that helps with like the integrity thing and everything.
I hide my sadness and failure behind humor, which is something Hans did. And I told him about it, and he's like, well, you're not dumb, you're a smart kid. And I really appreciated hearing that, because I hear it from my parents, but it's nice to hear it from others.
I think being here, even though it's been like maybe a day, it's helped me see that I'm like capable of doing things and just interacting with people. Because I think it's a lot less common that people are going up to each other and introducing themselves and shaking their hands and looking into each other's eyes. You know, it's not very common. So I think being here has definitely helped me realize that just interacting with people is a really good thing, and that people do need other people.
This is the time to say, just like how I've allowed other people to take risks, there are people here that is allowing you to take the risk. Just like how you would ask the people that are struggling to take risks in our small groups and large groups, and you would say, go for it. It's a safe place.
It's a lot different. I've been like away from home, like my parents, this long, so that's kind of this like a little bit of a struggle. But they like treat you great, and they provide you with all these things to just have a great time, and it's awesome.
It was really hard, yeah, but it's worth it. You know, I cross-stitched and stuff like that. I don't really do much of this, but I'm glad I did.
Just like a whole bunch of people that, you know, you don't know, and you kind of have to become comfortable, get out of your comfort zone, and actually talk to them and share stuff that is personal to you, to feel maybe a little bit more trust with that person, to feel like you know them a little bit better, and to feel more comfortable.
I've also enjoyed just getting to know people a bit more, especially on the hikes. I had lots of people cheering and keeping me going.
But all too often, we spend our lives just kind of like having these really shallow relationships with people. And that often is because of the way that we communicate.
It's easy when you're not out in a beautiful area like this, where there's nature surrounding you, where it's not cluttered and noisy from the modern world. It's easy to get distracted. And it's easy to forget the things you've learned, and it's easy to forget to apply those when you're no longer around people going through the exact same experience at you at the same rate.
What I really hope is that when you go back to your schools or you go back home, whether it's your siblings, your parents, people you know at school, people you don't know very well, maybe do the same thing you did today and like realize that just getting to know them, you'll realize that they aren't so bad.
I'm not a very big people person, so I think I'm a mix of both. I like being around people, but I find it hard to talk to people. It helped me like figure out how to start a conversation and kind of pushed me to keep the conversation going.
You don't know these people, you're strangers and you're going through so much together that you kind of have to be friends. Like I've known Sydney for what, 4 days now?
Yeah.
And I think I made a lifelong friend in her.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But the whole theme of Faces is integrity. And those two things are deeply aligned with each other. If we're unaware of who we are and what our behaviors are, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, how we're acting, if we're unaware of that, it's impossible to have any form of integrity. Because like Brian said in his small group, you're kind of running a life on autopilot. You're letting kind of life pass you by and you're just being whoever it is that you are in the moment, without taking any form of control in your life.
I feel like I hide behind this like mask where I have to be the big guy and I have to take the biggest step and like no one else can help me.
I realized there are highs and lows and everything. Sometimes you cannot tell where you are, and it will always shift. It will never be always high. It will never be always low. So I found the key was to like ground yourself.
Mine's a little bit more short, but I tend to sort of hide my feelings and not express them as much or share them with people. But
how does it feel to feel like these people trust you? Yeah, right? Should have kept it. Have you found anything really challenging at Faces?
Doing the masks, it was first off awkward. I don't like awkward things. I didn't really know my partner much. Also felt obviously really vulnerable, so making a mask on my face.
When I was putting it on my partner, I felt valued because he trusted me to put the mask on. And he wasn't like agitated or anything, he was calm. So it was just really nice to experience that.
I find I kind of wear a mask that I kind of distance myself and make myself look standoffish and be quiet because I'm scared to like put myself out there and really like open up. I find that really difficult.
I made sure she knew what I was doing. I was just checking in and making sure I was being gentle and keeping her comfortable and safe. Because if I know she's safe and if I know she's comfortable, then I know that I'm, doing a good job. Yeah.
Lots of times I act happy when reality I'm like really sad. So
One of my masks is I hide my emotion and hide being vulnerable, trying to like figure out how to take those masks off.
The masks and realizing that like everyone here has them, like including the counselors and stuff, so that like you truly aren't alone. Like no matter what it is you're worried about, you aren't doing it alone.
So my mask is like fear of what other people think. So I wear hoodies or blank shirts usually. I wear them because I'm afraid of what people think of me. If I don't feel like I can share my personality with anybody.
I was really scared.
Okay.
Like, heights is my biggest fear. I
Yeah.
didn't want to do it, and I was crying because I got overwhelmed. She just told me to go, so I did.
Okay.
And then once I got over like the cliff part, I was like fine, and I actually was having a good time.
ASMR.
It was like the
The drop kind of scared me more than expected. I dropped and then scraped my leg. Not that bad, but it's still scraped.
When I was first at the top, I was sitting there and I was really excited to do it. But then my fear slowly began to grow more and more as I waited longer and longer.
I see the things happen instead of being the one doing it. These kids got really close really fast. They work together so well. There's a lot of like friendships and a lot of bonds and a lot of trust that I've never seen that happen this fast.
What was the hardest thing you did at this?
I don't really know.
This
I don't
interview?
know. Yeah, probably. I didn't really want to come here. My parents made me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to like enjoy everything that I can.
When we like first got here, I was like really nervous. Like I could tell Kate was too, so I tried to comfort her as best as I could.
I began like going down, and I mean I was scared again, but yeah, like
Again!
The climbing was really fun, but I had a little bit of help. But all in all, Faces has been pretty fun.
Have the physical challenges been hard for you, or pretty?
Mostly this one.
Mostly this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this was probably the hardest one for you.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was going through your head when you were struggling?
I want to come down.
But like I'm not the strongest. I mean, I'm kind of little, so when I have a partner who's big, like I had Hayden, so me and these trying to pull the canoe, me and another 185 pounds, kind of difficult.
I think that the heat was the most challenging part, and also climbing the rock wall because I'm terrified of heights.
How did it feel to get up there?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was like an accomplishment, like I was able to do it.
Some like trials can look like kind of impossible, but if you just look at them from a different perspective, they don't seem so impossible anymore. They seem pretty easy.
Last night when I was sitting beside Tristan, I saw him doing a lot of like really good things, and I thought like, where else could he do that? Like, does he do that at home? Or like, I was glad that he could be open, and if he can be open, then I can be open.
They care so much about each other, and they're just putting themselves out there and trying their best. All of them are just wise and kind, and they take notice of each other.
Faces is one very unique place. It's a lot better of an environment if you want to grow new connections and all that.
I didn't think too much about myself. I was more like invested in the leaders' stories as they were telling it, because I found those really interesting.
Just anyone who is comfortable to share emotion. I think that's something we all need in the world. I think, like, I'm a teacher, I'm a professional, and it's almost like seen in our society as unprofessional to show a true emotion.
My experience was really fun. I really enjoyed it. My confidence level went way up. Hopefully I bring that feeling back with me.
They're testing themselves physically, socially, trying to get to know each other in 6 days, mentally, emotionally, and it's always hard to say goodbye. Yeah, it's hard to like have them go because it's so easy to get attached because they're so beautiful and sweet.
How's your experience at Faces been? Wow, that's really profound. Any challenges you faced while you've been here at Faces?